to the Wheatfield, y'all. Welcome to you. If you are new, hey, welcome to you too. Welcome to you too. This is your girl Lati here at Tears and Wheat Road Show. You show enough never know what you're gonna get, beloved. Spirit is giving us the message of time is everything. Be careful how you spend it. Today is a very up and down, challenging kind of day. Um, we gotta put the pin comment up here. Hey, sis. Thank you so much for tapping in. I appreciate you. Uh, I appreciate. Thank you. Look, that was one thing we was doing while we was spending time. We was passing the time. We was braiding our hair and just kind of doing something. Um, Today has been kind of. It's my sister's birthday, y'all, and so it's a hard day for us. Back and forth through grief, memories, celebration of her life. It's her heavenly birthday because she's transitioned, but she's with me. I can feel her presence. So it's just like one of those days. And I wasn't even for sure if we were gonna message, and then we thought, well, maybe we'll just do a pre-recorded one. Um, but then we don't have a lot of storage, and we was like, we might as well just come and chat. So why not? And we were getting the message of time, like time is everything. At first it came out like time is a very funny kind of thing. Yeah, you know what, Veronica, it's a crazy thing. It's because I think about the time that we spent, the time that I wish that we had, you know, the last, not the last time we spent together, but like we went to my brother's wedding, and my sister was a hot mess. She like getting into trouble. She was always like one of those people, a risk taker, very fun and adventurous. And I've always been like the stiff one. The one that'll be walking around like this, like buttoned up to the collar, not getting into shit, real quiet, and follow the rules, and everything's gotta be fair. And I gotta, first of all, because she was such a risk taker and so adventurous, we got into trouble a lot when we were kids. So I learned to stay on mom's good side because I didn't want to catch them hands. But it was something about Sissy who was like, she just bucked against the system. She didn't give a shit. Like, she's on that Leo Virgo cusp, beloved. And when I say she was for it, she was for it. And she was, the last time we got a chance to really hang out with each other, she was like, come on, sis, let's go. And I was like, no, I'm so reserved. And I'm like, now I wish I hadn't took the opportunity to just get in trouble with her just a little bit. You know what I mean? Just a little bit. To get dirty just a little bit. Aya was very carefree. Wow. See, it's something about being able to just relax, you know what I mean? And let your inhibitions down and not be so worried is what I'm getting. So if I'm a little bit emotional, y'all, that's what it is. We've been going through bouts of crying and grief to laughing, appreciating the gift and the fact that I can still commune with her. I can still feel her. So we're having a shot of tequila. If that bothers you, feel free to check out. I appreciate everybody who's here. Um, the Hey, Miss Marianne, thank you so much for being here. Everybody that's tapping in, thank you for your energy. Um, I just Spirit gave us the message that time is a funny thing. It's like everything, right? It's so funny. I thought about it because it was like my brother's wedding, and you think about like how you're planning something big and something major, and it seems like it's taking forever for that day to come, right? It's like all these things that you have to do. And then you get to the day and the day just whizzes by. It's like, what happened to time? Like, where did it go? Um, Not expecting somebody to transition so young, so you feel like you have all this time, like all the time in the world. And then something happens and it just is over with. And it's like, it just went by so quick. You'd be like us, like fucking 48 going on 50, and you're like, where the hell did my life go? Like, all of a sudden I'm here. And all the times that I had to take opportunity to cut loose, to have fun, to just be a little messy, get a little dirty, the times that we didn't do it, we were so concerned about being solid that we never took the opportunity to just let it hang out a bit. So, time is a funny thing. Be careful and mindful how you spend it. Let's get some cards out. Let's get some cards out, y'all, and see what the spirit got going on. You want all of these? No. Thank you to the Alpha and Omega for bringing us this message. We are a willing and surrendered vessel for them to use to channel this message through. Let it strengthen me first and foremost, beloved weeper. You know my heart and you know my grief. Strengthen me so I can bear the yoke you have placed upon thee. Have us to overflow. Let it go out into your wheat field and reach the person who can resonate with these principles. Have them strengthened to bear the yoke you place upon them. Have us meet in the middle for the sake of strength and camaraderie, connection, and understanding. For the concept of time is such a funny thing. Sometimes we feel like we have so much of it where we could just be bored and don't know what to do with it, and it could just fly by just like a blink of an eye. And before you know it, it's gone. Let us not sit and reflect over the time that we have misspent. Let us be good stewards over every minute. That's what we're getting. Look, family. Family is coming through. And I'm definitely talking about my sister. And we're talking about work, dedication, commitment, loyalty, right? Making relationships work, hard work and effort that you put in for the family. Getting vision is coming through patience and compassion also. Yeah, it's given. For some reason, I'm hearing the word on fire about something. So I'm not for sure what that is, but I know for self, the fire and drive and the passion and the outlook for the future, you know what I mean, is what I'm feeling. Like, I'm not only thinking about moments past, but present moments, how we're using them, and then again, a sense of connectivity, happiness, overall happiness, like ultimate fulfillment. New beginnings is coming through. A new beginning. Right out the gut, right out the middle. So, we talk about general principles all the time, This may not resonate with everybody, but the principle of how you spend your time is one that we can all kind of think about. Like I said, for us, the situation with my sister was very difficult, especially for me. Like, that's my personal experience. We were not talking when she passed. We had a very rocky and tumultuous relationship in general. And when she passed suddenly like that, I was upset for a number of reasons. Upset at her, upset at why she passed, what she was doing. She was an adventurer, right? She was a risk taker. Um, and I was upset at self for us not having been able to bridge the gap, not being able to say the words that were left unsaid when she passed. We didn't get a chance to do it. But I am feeling like ultimate happiness, that ultimate fulfillment in this new beginning that is really her transition to the spirit. Like the things that she spent her time in her life running away from, the things that she couldn't deal with, all the ghosts and the demons. Like her transition gave her a new beginning. And I can feel that. It's almost like I can hear her saying like, it's almost like when you feel like you got your spirit back, like your true self, like not coupled with all the layers of things that have either been done to you, things that you had to live through, all of those things that kind of shape you as a youngster. Because she was definitely troubled, and she was a troubled youth, but she was troubled because of the things, the curses in the family. Yeah. So she kind of just like took off and ran. But it was like that was her personal journey. It was. And when I kind of find it hard because it's like we're here left behind to deal with, the fallout, the ramifications, and we all deal with it differently. Like mom deals with this day differently. I deal with it different. My brother, her daughter, my nephew, we all deal with it different. Everybody has their own unique experience. Yeah, definitely feel this. Definitely feel this. You was talking about thinking about the time misspent. I know it's not a pentacle, but it's giving like that regret and that remorse and thinking about it's not just spilled milk, but it really is. Yeah. The moon fell out and it's given in reverse. And in reverse, it says releasing of fear, repressed emotions, definitely getting heavy repressed emotions, inner confusion, misrepresentation, darkness, and insecurities. The heavy one that I feel is repressed emotions, being able to feel these things. Like this day always brings up repressed emotions from, family secrets, family curses, things between her and I that nobody ever even knew about. Wishing that we could go back or that I could go back. Definitely feel this grief. Five of Cups is giving regret, failure, disappointment, pessimism, loss, and grief. Heavy grief. Yeah. Ace of Cups is coming through. Yeah. I text my brother like, I need a hug from my brother. So he just texts me like a whole bunch of hug emojis. Yeah. It's something about this Ace of Cups. She's showing me creativity, spirituality. Yeah. That's why I was getting like renewed in the spirit or being one in the spirit is what she's saying. One in the spirit. Yeah. Oh. It's like no more juggling between spirit and flesh, like competing energies. It's being one in the spirit, death to the competing of energies. Like being pulled between your spirit and the flesh, spirit in the flesh, spirit in the flesh. And your spirit could be telling you to do some things, even end some things, right? We always war, like that internal conflict between our spirit self and our flesh. What is it that we want, what we desire, which could be driven by pain, grief, hardship, trauma, right? Versus what your spirit is calling you to do and being able to reconcile the two. It's giving like an end to the struggle, an end to the juggling. So we do have a small altar for her in the living room, and we poured her. She wanted a little shot of tequila, so we put that there, and so I'm having ours, and we get to have our drink for her birthday. This one, yeah, Knight of Pentacles. I'm hearing her tell me to keep going, like continue to be steady, to move forward. to pay attention to how we are spending our time and how we are placing our energy. Because again, time is a funny thing. Sometimes you can feel like it's just going to take so long. I have all this time in front of me. But you never really know, do you? We never really know. Sometimes it seems like it could take so long and I got so much time and I could, move slow and all of this, and before you know it, boom, time has expended, like it's been spent. So just be mindful of how you are spending it. Y'all heard my recent testimony about my cousin who was like a sister to me. And her oldest sister recently passing, very sudden. And we just went to her homegoing last weekend. Today is August the 22nd, 2025. And because of the dynamics of that relationship, I pay honor to her sister, but me and my cousin, we do not speak. She's like my sister, and we don't speak. So now it's kind of like reliving something similar. Yeah. Star energy, and it's coming in a challenge. I'm hearing healing, like challenged with healing and moving forward with the Chariot. I definitely hear her telling me to stay steady, to continue to move forward, be conscious of your time, be careful about how you spend it. But this healing, who baby, especially when it feels like you're continuously being re-triggered or being re-traumatized or being confronted with the same type of principle. Like the issue with my cousin, sister cousin, right? It's almost like the same thing. Do I let bygones be bygones and reestablish a relationship that I know that's hurtful and is not reciprocal with somebody that can be downright deceitful, right? Or do I just let it be? And again, deal with the consequences should it end up the same way, like with my sissy. It feels like almost like setting myself up for the same type of situation. And I'm choosing to do it the same way, even though I know what the outcome could be on that day. Message, communication from the other side is what I heard. I'm hearing her say it's okay. You know what I mean? That, all relationships eventually die. Like they transition. Either the person is going to transition, the relationship is going to transition. Like things are going to change. It is not designed to be the same, is what I'm getting. And it's something about the quality of time spent while you were spending it. And I am picking up something that does comfort me a bit. It's about being authentic and truthful to self, right? Like, even the reason why me and my sister didn't speak, it wasn't because I was being like malicious or anything. It was just me holding my boundary. And she passed before we can rectify it because she was still struggling between her spirit and her flesh based on her trauma. Kind of like the same thing with my cousin. Like, you have to separate yourself from those relationships. And we never know what's going to happen. A person can transition before you make it right, and you're left to deal with a certain type of grief. That's what I'm getting. Has anybody kind of experienced that? Right. Yeah. It is opportunity here, though. And I'm getting not only for spiritual connection, because this cup is giving me like a spiritual offering, right? It could be comfort. But it is like the understanding, the awareness, the spiritual knowledge, the depth of it, the emotional awareness, the emotional intelligence, right? Even if things have gone bad, right? Instead of focusing on what was bad, can we look at what is the opportunity? What is the silver lining? What are we gaining? I know for me, being a medium and a person that can commune with my sister even in the spirit, I've gained a healthier relationship, right? I really have. It's like the ability to laugh, to joke, to feel the purity of her spirit, right? Not the person who was so traumatized and so conflicted. I can still hear her laugh. I can still see her joke and play. She was like a big kid, right? Even though she was like so tenacious and so strong, so resilient. She could be a terror, a tyrant, but she was also my greatest teacher. You know what I mean? So it's very, very mixed. And so the grief that I feel is very complicated. Yeah, see, that's the learning. Like, what did I learn from it? What did I observe? It's something in this opportunity that's here, is what it's given. And if somebody watching gets anything from the testimony, I know that it is, it's worth sharing. You owe your entire platform to Aya, for real, for real. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Veronica. Look, Queen of Wands, she definitely gave me confidence. You talking about my sister? What? You talking about Leo, Virgo, cuss. All that Leo energy, that Virgo energy coming together. When I say my sister was, I'm the shortest. I'm 5'10". I'm almost, people look at me and they just know that I'm like 6 feet, but I'm not. I'm in my family. My mom had three of us. So it's my sister, me, and then my brother. My brother is like 6'4", 6'5". My sister was 6 feet, and I'm 5'10". We Amazonians. The whole rest of our family is like 5'7" and below. When I say we are like clear, everybody is crazy. It's crazy. And she always used to do this thing about standing up straight. She would point her finger in the middle of my back and pull my shoulders back. And so I was looking at a picture of us today at my brother's wedding. And when I say that shoulders back, chest up, and that out there to what? My sister was a cold piece, like straight Amazon. They used to call her Tree. Like, 'cause she was so tall, thick, like composed, grounded, rooted, and knowing fully who she was body, beloved. I often think about what she would have become if she was whole and healed, like she had that from the beginning, and her whole innocence and virtues have remained intact. But she taught me that. No, she taught me that. Oh wow, Monica, thank you. I'm so glad because I was so like, I don't think I can message today. I feel so emotional. So I'm like, well, we just gonna do it and just make it testimonial because we don't know who it can help. So I'm so glad that it's helpful. Um, I really am. Which one, beloved? This one. Yeah. Look, opportunity. 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 Time and effort and energy. She's definitely giving me a lesson on be careful how you spend it. And like in being gifted, even time, like more time, right? And be a good steward over it. That time is one of those things that we can just take for granted. You know what I mean? Like, again, it's like, oh my God, I'm planning for this, I'm planning for that. It could be anything, right? From like, I feel bored today, I don't know how I'm gonna spend the day. That's time, right? Waiting for the hours to pass till you get off work. That's time. Waiting, for something that you are, again, planning for to come in. That's time. And then when it gets there, it goes so fast. And the thing that I could think about is like a wedding. You spend a year planning the wedding, and it feels like it's never going to come, and it's so far away. Then all of a sudden, it's like, ooh, 6 months, then 3 months, and then today's the day. And you wake up like, today's the day. Ooh, and then the day just, boom, is gone in a blink of an eye. And you look back and you be like, all that time spent, it seems so long, and it went by so quick. Just like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I'm feeling. Even like I said, to the point where, like, we at our age, look, we don't mind saying that we 48. We almost a half a century. We trying to make 50. Like, for us, we'd be at our greatest, our highest at 50. Right? But when I look back and be like, damn, we 50? Where the fuck did the time go? We, like, shit. And my sister was adventurous. You talking about she would go by herself. She didn't have no problems. You talking about courageous and brave and strong and like, you know, put her dukes up and fight through anything. And I was the one that was scared and feeling like, oh shit, I gotta be safe. And she used to make fun of me because when I was young, my shit would be buttoned up like to here. And she'd be like, trying to come here, unzip this. And I'm like, no, I gotta be covered up. Like, never got in trouble. So what? And then it's like, I wish I could have just cut loose and ran off on one of her adventures and just do it. Now it's like I'm 50. Who the fuck takes off and do that? But maybe we could do it differently. You know what I mean? Have a whole different type of adventure. There's an opportunity. Yeah. Look, more time. More time. More time. How we gonna spend it? How we gonna spend it? What are we gonna do with it? What are we gonna do with it? All this time. Working on something different. Something that matters is what it's given. Free yourself on being free. Because she was tied up and she was bound and she was struggling. Struggling to heal. But she was able to get on her chariot and go forward. And now the message is for us is to be mindful of your time and how you spend it. Because it could go by so quick. You could feel like you just got years and years and years, beloved. And before you know it, shit. Because I'm looking at, I'm like, damn, we just turned 40. Now we 48. Like, where did them last 8 years go? Like, how? How, yo? How? I know it's somebody out there that feel it. Thank you so much, Sandy. I appreciate you. Thank you. Anything else in here, Spirit, say no. Look, fruitful. Somebody do got time ahead of them, but it's being cautious about how you spend it. We definitely claim that, yeah, because you never know when it's over with. You just don't. So what is it that we can do? What are the adventures that we still want to go on? What are the things that we want to see with the Page of Swords, right? You know, yeah, a lot of things have been lost and we had a lot of lessons, spiritual growth and development, but there's opportunity here telling us to seize the moment, right? Don't let it go past you. Be confident, right? Confident and fruitful. How you spend your time. Confident in you to go do it, to take the next adventure, to speak up for what's important to you, what's purposeful, what's meaningful. I'm hearing buck up against the system. Don't be afraid to voice it. Don't be afraid to say it. Don't be afraid to take the inspired action to just do it, beloved. To do it. Yeah. Thank y'all so much for sitting here while I read us. Right, it's definitely that energy. Definitely have the confidence. So if somebody is struggling, like, with taking a risk to do something that the spirit is telling you to do, to go with your wild friend who just wants to have an adventure, be careful of the person that's always getting you into the bullshit. Like, I mean, it's okay to let your hair down every once in a while, but, be mindful, right? Wise counselor, good advice, right? And it's something about, for some reason, I'm hearing the law. My sister didn't give a shit about the law. Okay. One of our earliest freaking strikes was when I was, not early, but like in my young adulthood, when I really was like, okay, I gotta stand up for myself and my own autonomy. My sister would get pulled over and for doing shit because she was just that type of person. You know what I'm saying? And she knew that she was the one that was adventurous. I'm the one that's straight, narrow, and buttoned up to the collars. They used to call me L7 square ass, right? That type of energy. So she get pulled over by the cops. Guess whose name she's given? We was so mad. One of my testimonies, I'm getting married, and I get my mom gets a letter in the mail saying that I have 5 warrants out for my arrest. How in the hell do I have 5 warrants out for my arrest when I'm the person that'll tell on myself? Like, that's me. My sister giving my name. She was like, I couldn't think of anybody else. Bitch, the first person name you think of me, I know you ain't had no record. I know you ain't had shit on there. So I gave your name so that they could let me go. I was so upset with her. Like, I gotta put a block on my social security, a block on my name, on my driver's license with the DMV and all this shit. And I'm like, I thought I did that. They like it expires every 5 years. Well, now we know that. You see what I'm saying? The learning. But she knew, like, you know what I mean? Out of all the people names, give hers, because she ain't did shit. She's an L7 buttoned up to the neck. Like, ain't doing a damn thing. She was confident in that shit. I'm telling you. But it's like, again, I wish, yeah, she would betray my ass in a motherfucking minute. Did not give a shit. That's why, like I said, when she transitioned, we were not talking of it. We weren't. But it's like those things where, like, in this day, I look back on those times and it's funny, right? I can laugh at it. Like, girl, look, I miss her, y'all, so much, right? And like, not being able to connect to her, not having it restored, not us having being able to speak the words of forgiveness, it really, really does something for the grief. Which is why I'm kind of like caught in between on what to do with my sister cousin, because I know that's another hard one. That is another hard one. I feel like I'm grieving like 3 all at the same time. My sissy, my sister cousin, and her sister. All of them being so recent and tied together. Yeah. I wonder what is it trying to tell us though? Like, what am I supposed to be learning? Because I told y'all I made a decision with my sister cousin. Like, look, shit, it's gonna be on the same shit. If she happens to transition or I transition, we gonna have to deal with it. Because I'm like, some shit, it's like once you know it, you cannot unknow it. And if a person is not willing to make amends, and it's like I have to use my head. Even though my heart hurts and grieves the connection, I know that it's one that I have to sever. So it's like grieving her as well, even though she's still physically here. So who has had situations where you had to grieve a person even though they are still living? Right, because you know the relationship has died, even if it's like that metaphorical death. Yeah, see, grieving. It still hurt. You doing what you know is the right thing to do, but it hurts. What's that? Yeah. I'm seeing something. I'm seeing exposure, enlightenment, but it's really giving something like exposure. And it could be, again, those repressed emotions that we were talking about, things coming up so that you can see them, so that you can heal them and feel them and heal them. Anything else in here is for your say no. Yeah. King of Wands, though, that's growth. That's growth. Because we had the Queen, and now we see the King. So that's definitely development and surety, right? Assurance, not just confidence, right? And a visionary, overcoming these challenges, definitely being able to overcome the challenges, growth and maturity. This right here, y'all, is not a nicotine vape. It's one of those puffy air vapes. It's like mullein leaf and thyme and mint. So it's supposed to clean out your lungs. So if anybody is attempting to stop smoking, then this could be an option. I actually prayed for this like 2 years ago, a year and some change ago. It was not on the market. And I was buying mullein drops and teas and stuff like that. And still the hand mouth thing was plaguing us. And we was like, man, I wish they made it in a vape. And lo and behold, I found it on the market this year. All natural. So, if you are looking for an alternative, there you go. Let's get activated. Let's see. Let's see. So, we see, look, healing. Definitely healing. Healing is coming through. Right? Just gonna sit that right there since you kind of like popped up right out the gut, right? Healing. It says, this supports our intrinsic ability to restore our health and wholeness by consciously using the information, King of Swords information, that comes to us through our senses and harmonizing everything accordingly. It's definitely giving knowledge, of your grief, the depths of it, getting to the core of it, and being able to bring yourself back to harmony. It's like being able to see it through exposure so that you can heal it. Yeah, empowerment. Allowing yourself to be empowered by it. That's one thing that we think about all the time. It's like, how does this grief empower us? Veronica said something beautiful about being empowered by Aya's, transition, is that it inspired her channel, right? A lot of work that Veronica does is inspired by Aya. And a lot of work that we do is inspired by our sissy and understanding a lot of what she went through. We can't say everything because we don't know everything, but we understand a lot of it, and we definitely have been inspired by it. Yeah, communication. Healing communication, or just being able to speak about it, right? Like now, testimony. And you never know who you're studying your you never know who your testimony will help, is what it's given. And I don't know where study, because I am seeing the Page of Swords. So it could be something in your grief particularly that you need to study. It could be something in our grief and particularly that we need to study. Oh wow! You said it started with the jewelry first, Aya, and Veronica, and then the channel grew from there. Yeah, Earth is here. It's giving time spent, like time, and it's connection in Earth school, right? Like being here, being able to see the beauty of it, the beauty of life, and just being aware to sense it, right? Understanding our true spirit is ethereal. It is immortal. But the time that we have here is fleeting, and we don't know how much of it we'll actually get. So to be very conscious of how we spend it is a thing, right? And it can be very difficult. One of those because some things take so long. We spend a lot of time being bored and not sure what to do, how to make the most of it, how to make it purposeful, how to make it fulfilling, right? The concept or the notion that we just have so much of it. Oh, I'll put it off. I can do it tomorrow. I can do it tomorrow. I can do it later. I can do it later. When you don't know if you have later, you don't know how much more you have. And to be able to take the opportunity to enjoy today, to love today, to live today. That's the thing, Ashe. And don't be so heavy on yourself. That's one thing that I found out today, like that I realized with the sun, like realization, is I feel like I spent so much time trying to not get in trouble. Even though I got in trouble and I did some things, but it was like, I can't go that far. I can't do this. It's like, I get it a little bit, but not like a for real. Like being able to let go and just enjoy and not always think about consequence. It's a thing to being able to let go and just to have that wild and free spiritual space. What'd you say, Monica? Monica says reminds me of Joseph Campbell, potentially, who said, the problem is that you think you have time. Yes, thinking that we have time. Time has us. Time has us. We don't have time. Time has us. Right? If when we are supposed to go is a thing like the Most High has said, this is your timing, then time has us weak. And the fallacy that we have time and we can just expend it willy nilly is something that we may need to consider. Because when we reflect back, we think about how much time did we misuse, or how much time did I squander or allow to pass over something that we could have squashed, right? Even, just not being angry, not being frustrated, like being able to find a way to get to good, Ashe. And sometimes maybe there isn't really a way. Maybe the way is to put up the boundary and hold it because that's the true and right thing to do. You have to decide that for you. Yeah, remember. Remember always that you don't have time. Time has you. Anything else in here? Spirit said no. Discernment and sacral chakra is coming through. I am getting kingdom space. It feels very spiritual. I'm getting sensual, not sexual, but sensual. The ability to use your senses, right? And it's given discernment. Some relationships you are able to salvage, right? Some you can, and some are not. Like they literally have run their course, and that was it. It's expired. No need to, continuously cry over spoiled milk, but it's like you will grieve them. To know that you will grieve expired relationships, and you really have to realize when that thing is over with. It has transitioned either onto death or just it died and you two both or will go in different directions in the land of the living, or somebody has transitioned onto death because they're no longer living and that's the end of it and you can't go back. Some things you just cannot come back from. But it is a thing about understanding the being grateful for the time you get to sense being on earth. You know what I mean? Like we can get so bored and caught up in the mundane of everyday grind where it's like we kind of just spend time and we don't think about how we're spending it until time has passed and we're reflecting and you're thinking about all the things you could have done with it. I could have took that trip. I could have reached out. I could have started that business. I could have, you know, made this statement. I could have led a protest. I could have organized. I could have became an activist. For us, the thing was fentanyl epidemic. They gave us fentanyl in the ambulance after the car accident, freaked us the fuck out because that's what my sister passed from, a fentanyl overdose. So just the thought of it and them giving it to me made me freak weak. I'm like, oh shit. I didn't want them to give me anything else because I didn't know how the fuck it was gonna interact with it. It's crazy. Then after she passed, it was like, okay, how is fentanyl getting into the country? We're gonna go off on our thing because crack cocaine did not end up in our communities by happenstance. You know what I mean? That was a systematic plot, to cause destruction in black communities. So how is fentanyl getting into the country? Where is it coming from? And how did it turn into such a deadly epidemic overnight like that? Now all of a sudden you don't hear anything about it. Like it doesn't even make the news anymore. It's like, how did she get caught up in that whole thing? And it claimed so many lives, and now it's no longer a thing. Yeah. Government sponsored for crown control. Absolutely, Veronica. Absolutely. So, from a communication standpoint, it's like we have to say it. We have to continuously to speak about it because the news stories are so rapid fire, like it's hard to even keep up. One of the first things that we did in social media back in the MySpace days was to start our MySpace page was all wrapped around recycling news, like stories that come and go so quickly, and people focus on them for a hot second, and then it's off to the next story because everything is happening in rapid succession. So we would recycle those stories and try to follow up and investigate and post like what happened to this. And that's how I feel about these epidemics, right? And it seems like it's always one after the other after the other. Goodness, it was like crack cocaine, and then it was methamphetamines, and like then it was heroin and poppy and shit like that, and then then it was fentanyl. So it's like, what is the next thing gonna be? What is the next one that's gonna cause like this countrywide epidemic that claims how many lives and then it's gone and nobody ever fucking speaks of it? It's not like they got everything off of the street. It's like, what the fuck is happening? It just feels like it's something deeper in that. Hey, Shadon, thank you so much for tapping in. I appreciate you. You said for crowd control. Yeah, but also the crown. Yes. Yeah. I mean, the Americas, we are a business, right? It's not like this is a corporation, not a country. Mm. Speaking of y'all, we got, our 2 new books that we just ordered. One book is the dictionary. So that is something. Spirit has been giving us a thing about words and speaking. We are always speaking words, therefore we are always spelling and casting spells. So it's something about expanding our vocabulary. I'm hearing being armed with words, like the ability to write and being armed with the pen and communication, not only for the sake of healing, but just for empowered expression. And with that, we got this one, the etymology dictionary. Right? So, as we are thinking about arming ourselves with the power of words, we also have the meaning, the origin, the background of them so that we can use them properly. So, if you guys don't have these in your personal library, maybe good ones to pick up. And out of all the books that we have, I think this one right here is one of the most expensive. I'll tell you, it was nearly $60 for this book. The other one that I have, this one right here, this Hitchcock's Bible, is like a complete analysis of the Christian Bible. It's from like 1865, 1800s. It cost us nearly $200, and that's on eBay. So it's something about the power of books. I know people are like into their Kindle and their ebooks. They're way more cost effective, but it's something about having tangible books, because if anything happens to the internet or they remove a book and they stop offering it, you always have it. So just have to put that out there. Let's get into the soul journey. Yeah, you always have to look up the etymology of things. Absolutely. Yeah, 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 yeah. Amber is definitely, she's afraid of fires. Well, yeah, they would freak me out. Maybe something happened to her with a fire in a past life. Thank you so much. I love books, Miss Monica. I do. Yeah. Peace. Peace is here. I definitely feel like my sister is at peace, right? I do feel that from her. Like her energy feels so good. And when I say we can laugh and talk and play and sing and dance, one of the most prominent experiences as a medium and clear tangent like psychic touch was right after her services. I literally was standing on mom's back patio on her at her apartment, and I felt her spirit come down. We danced. I like literally could feel her, like anybody knows ballroom dance, like, you know. So we dancing on mom's patio. I could feel her spin me around, like everything. Give me a kiss on the cheek, and then all of a sudden I just felt like this relief. I just crumbled, y'all. But there's not a lot of people that I could explain that experience to who will actually get it. Yeah, a lot of people would be afraid. But right, like, but I wasn't. I was so grateful, like, to be able to feel it. But it just, yeah, yeah. Worry is here. I'm hearing like the energy, like somebody, like her saying, worried about you making it through this. You know what I mean? I do feel a lot, feel alone oftentimes because nobody gets it. Nobody gets it. You know, if you are a channel messenger, a psychic, a medium, you experience a lot of things that you just don't talk to a lot of people. I'm actually afraid to go to a therapist because of what they might say to me. Like, you need to put on a jacket. Like, they might approach me with like modern science, right? And be like, you need, need to go into a padded room somewhere. So it's like, even still, it would be a lot of things that I probably wouldn't share. You say, and that last part, yeah. Purpose. Yeah. See, I know what I'm here to do. I do. I do. I remember. I'm here to bring these messages onto all of you, to share, to tell you that the rise of the divine feminine energy, like mother, is still with us. The comforter, like she's not a ghost, right? The alpha, the omega, right? Failure. I feel like in past life cycles, we were on that mission. It probably didn't always go so well, beloved. If I was, you know, continuing to carry these gifts from life cycle to life cycle to life cycle, there's definitely a part in my life cycle and past lives where I probably didn't make it because they would burn me at the stake, beloved. I would be considered a fucking witch. So I wouldn't have made it. Oh, thank you so much, Sandy. I appreciate it. And that's why I am messaging, because it's like, why not just come out and share it with the week? Look, relationships, right? Relationships. And they can be complicated, especially in families. Especially in families, right? And those of us with big purpose, a big job to do, right? You're born in complicated. How are you? Maybe you've come to heal something in your lineage. Maybe you've come to speak about it. Maybe that's why the Spirit sent you, right? You have all these things embedded in you to bring some sort of peace here on earth, or to remember, to wake up something, to activate something here on earth. And the worry is here. It's like, can I do it? It's a big job, right? And it's like getting through the day to day ish. All the complications, all the trauma, all the hurt, all the grief, and being able to remain steady, to feel connected, to have compassion and understanding, to not be hardened by it, to not turn bitter, to not turn cold. Yeah, indecision is here. So we did make the decision, right, to move forward. But it is like we said, the decisions in relationships. We have another one that are using our discernment. Our sister cousin, right? Like that chick right there, I could call her a bish. That whole bitch fucking lied on me, so fucking scandalous. I'm like, I will never fuck with you. No. Love you to death. Absolutely do. Love you to pieces that will never change, but I don't fucking like you. I don't like you, and I'm not fucking with you. I still feel like that to this day. Self esteem is definitely an issue. I don't know if it's hers or the fact that I've grown and I've changed, right? Some people can't handle your own development. So like me, we was young, and we were like, when we was young, we was an odd duckling. When I say your girl had to grow into this, oh what? Ha! Yes. I've been 5'10" since for as long as I can remember. I feel like I was born 5'10". But it's just like never really fitting in, always in a different space, in a different air. So we felt different, right? And our self esteem was not always there, but we definitely in a different space now, beloved. We are fully bodied and confident. You don't like it? That's your problem. How you feel about me ain't none of my damn business. Is what the spirit told us, honestly. So, you see what I'm saying? Like when you get to this here King of Wands, they don't give a fuck about what somebody think about them. Look, I don't give two fucks about what you think about me. That's the truth, okay? Shit, not at all. Not at all. This is your own personal journey. Your own personal journey. And you will have your own realizations of your own personal truth and authenticity. And if that shit bothers somebody else, then they got to deal with that shit. Is what I'm saying. Judgment. Yeah, so we definitely made a judgment call on that. I understand that everyone has their own unique path and their own challenges, right? And we are all in service. We are all in service to the Most High God. So I give empathy. Again, holding on to your heart, compassion, right? And understanding that everybody's going to get there in the time that the Most High God is designating for them. Like, we can't rush them. You can't rush yourself. You can't make yourself get it before you get it. You can't force yourself to be healed before you've healed, right? And every person has a right and a dignity to their own path. And my sister did, I do, my cousin sister, she does, everyone does, everybody. So I can't be upset with her because she was still struggling. And that was a part of my anger. But anger is a stage of grief. It is, right? I was angry that she hadn't healed. I was angry that she was still struggling. I was angry that struggle allowed her to fall victim to something else that's bigger than just herself. Truth is coming through with the air in the shadow, like dealing with the truth of that, right? We see storm, yeah, because it gets hard. And everybody's dealing with their own challenges, right? Spiritual cleansing. communication is given like being able to speak something, to say something, to cleanse the soul, to cleanse the spirit. We call for cleansing, we call for healing. Yeah, jealousy. Yeah, we know, cousin, sister. We know that shit. People speak out of jealousy and envy and damn right hatred. Because the word hatred is coming through. Hey, Miss Hillary, thank you so much for tapping in. I appreciate you. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you all. Courage. And I told you, the courage to speak up, the courage to live in their truth, to just do them, to go their own way, to face their own challenges in their own way. My sister was strong in this way, and she definitely taught me a lot about being courageous. A lot. I am seeing this lightning bolt. The truth is coming through. Honesty is coming through. The courage to speak the truth. The courage to speak the truth. Yeah, to say it. To speak truth to power. And it's giving protection. Like, I feel like I am protected, right? I'm getting veiled. Like, people don't always see, right? It's giving healer. Yeah, definitely working backward, and we're getting power. Definitely psychic power. Maybe even the power to release, to cut cords. It could be generational curses, whether it be the curse of pedophilia, molestation, or SA in families, whether it is domestic violence in families, whether it is um, alcoholism, drug abuse in families, the things that people tend to sweep up underneath the rug, whether we're speaking out against systemic issues like, drugs being pumped into communities, whether it's campaigns to turn each other against each other, like how we target the 1% that doesn't even freaking matter. Right now, LGBTQIA and transgenderism and all that stuff is under attack, when that 1% of the population, is it really causing the biggest issues in society? And I would say no. When you think about it systemically, is it the biggest worry? And I say no, it's not. I'm not more so concerned about whether a transgender person can play in a certain particular arena of sports and compete versus whether it's fentanyl on our streets. Like, that's not my first worry. I'm not more concerned about that than I am about putting food on the table, inflation, right? The ramifications of our political environment and the fact that we have no insight to legislation. Those things bother me more than who somebody chooses to love or who somebody chooses to marry, what sport they want to play. All of that shit is like ancillary, and it's just not the focus. Our relations to each other is what is exploited, right? To keep us feeling like somebody has more power over the other, more privilege. And their feeling of privilege gives them the ability to dictate onto other people that we all have to live a certain way. No, people have their own path and they have their own challenges. And as long as they are not infringing upon another person and causing some sort of bodily harm, then why not grant them their freedom and their ability to just be? I have more things to spend my time on because I realize that I don't have time. Time has me. Let's transmute. Transmute. Change some shit. We all are powerful and we all have powerful testimonies. We have powerful experiences. And I feel like when we come together and we discuss and we are vulnerable, then we see that we have more to connect to than what separates us. Right? It's more that we have alike than we have that's different. So you could be a person that needs encouragement to stand up and say something, to tell your truth, to be bold in it. You don't know who it will help. Not only will it help you, because this session brought us some relief. 12 is still up here watching. Thank you so much for being here. What I can see on this side. Um, but it's definitely giving relief, and I'm getting the energy on throat chakra. It's almost like itching, like a scratch, like somebody needs, there's an itch you need to scratch, something that you need to say. And it's giving like the power to cut something, to release it. It could be off of your family, it could be off your lineage, it could be affecting a group, a culture, something in your heritage. I'm not for sure, but it's definitely giving me healer energy, and you being protected and cloaked and veiled. So if there's an issue with identity, then it's like you are protected. Maybe you feel like if you speak out and say something, you're gonna be attacked. Unfortunately, in this day, people, that shit happens. You speak out against Beyonce, whew, them people trying to hunt you down, find your motherfucking address, show up to your house. You don't even know her. How is the beehive so fucking attached to a person that ain't know, they don't even know? She's a musician, yo. Like, seriously. We be so fucking gung ho over the craziest things. Not to say anything about a person that's like really into Beyonce, but if the bitch is not really changing your life in a real personal way, I don't understand how you trying to hawk somebody down and find their address because they had something to say. Make that shit make motherfucking sense. Magic. How you spending your time and your energy? That's what it's giving. The pentacle. Time. Energy. How are you spending? You can do some magnificent, wonderful things. Because remember, you don't got time, time got you. And you never know when it's up, like when your moment is due. This one. Yeah, that's the truth. Here on Earth. Look, seriously, Earth is out here twice. Okay? We only here for a quick minute, a hot minute, like a whole 2.5 seconds. So make the most of it. Remember, right? Your time here, make it well spent. Well spent. You don't want to be at the end looking back and being like, I wish I had did this and did that, and then thinking about all the shit that you was worried about that you spent it on that didn't mean a damn thing. Like nothing. Like in your list of priorities, it was just not high on it at all. I think that's why people get so upset in relationships, especially when you find out you've been betrayed, because it's like, I spent all this time. That's the thing you get upset about, because you can't get that back. You just can't. Message. You just can't get that back. Anything else? Yes, what would you like? Let's see, there's something in this little basket. I feel like they're telling me to get the grief cards. They right here. So let's see. Let's see. Right here on the top it says grief is really just love. A reminder of how vast your love is. Yes, I love you too, Sissy. See, it's a reminder of how vast the love is. This says join a local or online support group. Y'all like my support group right now. Just saying. Hey King, thank you so much for tapping in, Mr. Dunn. I appreciate you. Everybody that's here, I appreciate each and every one of you. Don't run from grief. Don't hide from grief. Acknowledge your grieving and process it. Your healing depends on it. And we know the sun is giving recognition, is giving seeing it, realizing it, you're facing it. You're not running from it. I'm not hiding from it. I'm acknowledging it. And because I acknowledge it, right, I know that I'm processing it. I'm dealing with it. And I know that my healing depends on it. it depends on me being able to express and speak up. Not only can I say things to her, right, and I do hear, her respond, like we conversate. Um, some things I don't share with other people, but it's just, between her and I. So that's the thing. And then some things I can express, and hopefully through our testimony, it helps someone else. Yeah. Anything else in here? You said you have a lot to do. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you, Miss Sandy. That is just beautiful. I think we are pretty much there. Like, we're wrapping it up. Toast to everybody. Happy birthday, Sissy. Thank you. Which one? This? We grieve any loss we experience. See, you can grieve any loss. Any loss. And that could be whether a person has transitioned onto death or not. So, like my other cousin sister, who is still very much in the land of the living, I grieve that loss because I know that we will not have the relationship anymore. It's over with. You can grieve the loss of a job. You can grieve, loss of health, opportunity. That's something that you were really, really waiting for. It could be anything you can grieve. But it's like, don't run from that grief. Don't hide from it. Acknowledge it. And the ability to acknowledge it means that you are healing, you're processing it. And don't let anybody tell you when your grief should be over with. Like how long you're supposed to be grieving, like it's an expiration date on that shit, or it's like, no, you should be done with it. It should be over with. Fuck that. I almost did one of these, but we know that that's a different, type of energy. I don't want to do nothing onto self and reflect that back to me. But it's given like, fuck that, judgment. Right? Everybody is on their own unique path, and everybody has their own challenges. Some grief you will continuously process. It will go in cycles. It'll be days like today. It could be a birthday. It could be an anniversary date. It could be a special day that's just between you and a certain person, and the cycles of grief can represent itself. Some days we are in denial, like how the hell could something like that take her out? My sister was the strongest person that I know. I didn't think that anything out in the streets, the hood, anywhere on Gaia could take her out. I just assumed that one day she would be healed, the struggle would be over, and we would reconcile. That wasn't the case. Right? So I get the denial. I get anger because she was still struggling. Right? I have to acknowledge it. I have to move through the process. And depending on where you are in the process and the stages of grief can change depending on your situation, depending on the day. So if you are still struggling with the cycles of grief, don't let anybody tell you that it should be over with just because they feel like it should. Right? They don't have the same experience that you're having. For everybody is different, and that's what we started with. What I'm grieving is different. How I'm feeling it from her daughter that I'm raising to my brother, to my mother, to her son. All of us have different experiences, and our grief is different. I will never understand what it's like to grieve with the way that my mother is grieving because I haven't lost a child. I lost a sister, right? But that's her child. I don't know what that feels like. I haven't lost my mom. My mom is still breathing, but her daughter knows what it's like to lose a mom. So all of us is different. So don't let anybody invalidate your grief experience. Don't let anybody tell you that it's a time limit, that you should be over it, like any of it. Right? You feel how you feel, and you have a right to feel it. And don't allow anybody to make you suppress it. What is this in reverse? See, part of healing is getting to know who you are becoming. Part of healing. Grief is really just a reminder again of how vast that love is. And that's the first one. So she brought it back to talk about how vast and how deep the love is, right? because that's what it is. It is an acknowledgement. Grief does give us the opportunity to have gratitude for what we had, the love, the connection, right? The relationship. I can have gratitude for it even though I grieve the loss of it. Like they can coexist. And because we can grieve any experience, that means I can face in all of them. I don't have to run from them. No matter which experience I'm grieving, I can acknowledge it. And I know that my acknowledgement is the process of healing it. And healing it is understanding who I am now because of it. I am stronger. I'm more tenacious. I'm more resilient. I'm more courageous. I have more of an opportunity to get dirty, to let it out. Because, see, back in the day, this cleavage, that shit would be just like this. See what? What? Huh? Baggy. I mean, well, when we was a teen, we would wear our Daisy Dukes and shit because we got tits and we got legs. No ass. Little apple. But that was it. So, but we used to be like straight L7 to the neck, like, not having it. You talking about ultra conservative? Now we are way more apt to have fun, to let it out, to throw that shit on and have fun, to be looking for, ways to just cut loose sometimes and allow ourselves to be free. Understanding again, I don't know how much time I got, and I do know that time got me. Thank y'all. Thank y'all so much. You say I can some of your tushy, Veronica. I can have some of yours. Look, I don't know what happened. It's been a whole switcheroo because I'm like, I got no bottom, and I'm telling you, I'm the one that my friends will tell you. I know when they go to my homegoing service, they would say that. Like I would stop and do some random squats anywhere, throw that leg up, be like. We gotta do a couple of these. You know what I'm saying? We'll drop and do some squats anywhere. But that's just us. We are very silly. We're very outgoing. We're have a childlike spirit. Because again, you just never know what's gonna happen, beloved. You just don't. We walk around here like we have all the time in the world, and we just don't. Share your favorite recipes with friends or family. Visit their favorite restaurant. So that could be for somebody. Um, Honestly, I don't even know what my sister's favorite recipe is. But when we ask our spirit team, like, what do you guys want, to eat as a part of our communing, we listen for what it is that they want and we make it or we go get it. You know what I mean? Allow them to commune with us as we fix it. So that's always fun. We've been having a craving for a burger, like a nice, thick, juicy cheeseburger, beloved. So yeah, see, craving with the fire is giving the desire. Like we have a desire for that. He said a momshell, childbearing, rearing hips. And look, I wish we was built like this when we was little. with some tits. Like that was it. I literally posted that as a picture, like me, my sister, and my brother. We're all like super tall, and me and my sister got on heels, and our brother is still taller than us, right? So yeah, safe travel is coming through. So hopefully that means we have safe travel, right? We're protected. But it's given like what I was trying to say was that, my mom gave us tits. Look, the other women in our family got back for days. When I say 24, 34, 24, 36, 24, 36, like that, baby got back, like Sir Mix-a-Lot vibe, like that's it. Like they got cakes. We tits. Like, and me and my sister sitting up there in like these shelves, right? Cause you put on that push up, these boys is up there to what? So we started up there, we got these shelves, and I'm looking at her. I got the nerve to be looking at her ass, like, why is her ass still bigger than mine? I was like so upset because she had more cake. Yeah, that was probably a twinge of envy, a twinge of jealousy, right? I wanted some cake. But the Most High God knew not to give us no ass. We might have had a lot of ass in our past life. I don't know. But I'm just like, the Most High, I'm like, they had to gave us an ass. Shit. Shit. When we was young, we'd have been a whole hot mess. You talking about a stallion for real, for real. You talking about 5'10" cocoa brown legs from there to here, titties, ass, giving. Shit, I'd have been a whole thing to deal with. It would not have been good, beloved. It would have not have been good. I'm just saying. Have a great weekend, Sandy. Thank you so much for tapping in, everybody that's coming through. If you have to go, I understand. I appreciate you. It's just testimony. We just speaking on GP. I appreciate everybody being here, though. It really has helped me. It really has. Like the ability to kind of just pull cards and to share the energy, especially of grief and for today, and to honor my sister. Consciousness is coming through. Something to be consciously aware of, It is giving head over heart energy and like realizing some things. It could be like, again, things that are within that grief and that loss that need to come up to the surface so that you can acknowledge it. I know it's definitely beneficial for us because that was this purpose, right? I think at the bottom of here, like I'm gonna pull these over, and if we look, relationships, right? Definitely getting that, grieving, relationships. I'm getting the strength, the courage, the determination, the ability to move forward. Not only empowerment, but to speak truth to power, right? It's coming through. Yeah. And not only is that healing, and it's thinking about, the becoming, like becoming your highest you. Thank you, Sandy. I appreciate you. Yes, as we honor her and her legacy, her memory. And one of the things that I always thought about was like speaking about her story because I know she's not the only person who lived that, who struggled with so much trauma, so many demons, right, that she was running from, wrestling with her flesh and wrestling with her spirit, her addiction and the fentanyl epidemic, right? And how many families has it impacted? And just being a voice for that demographic. See, Queen of Wands, to do it. See, to speak about those past things, to be confident enough to say it, right? Maybe there's something that we can bring awareness on, right? To just continue to have them live through memory. Yeah, passion, definitely. Queen of Wands, fire, passion, right? Yeah, guilt. Release any guilt. That's for us, right? Releasing beliefs that no longer assist in our soul's growth, and just grief and guilt over the relationship that we didn't, have time to fix it. You know, that I said what I said and that I meant it because I did and I still do. Even though I wish we had time, that we were given more time, the privilege of it. And I feel the twinge of envy and jealousy for people who have it. That's very raw. That's very real, right? My sister and I had a very hard, complicated relationship, and I see so many people who take the opportunity for granted. My sister cousin, her and her sister was an alcoholic. My sister was addicted to crack cocaine, both struggling with addictions, battling in the flesh, trauma, demons from childhood, just everything that, led into that. My sister, I never had an opportunity to help her heal. And when we stopped talking, it was because she had fell back into her addiction and she was struggling. And I was just like, that's it, I'm done. My cousin's sister, her sister, the alcoholic, just recently passed. And I remember one of the last conversations I had with my cousin about her sister was after my sister passed, and her sister was trying to heal from alcoholism. She was trying to heal from alcoholism. She was wanting to go to church and getting community and support, so that she could heal her addiction and get better. And I was so upset with my cousin. She came over and the only thing she did was complain. She complained and complained. I picked her up for church and she smelled like she had been drinking. And I just know everybody smelled her. She smelled like alcohol. And this, that, and the other. And I was just like, are you serious? You would come and sit in my house knowing that we just buried my sister. Um, because of her addiction, and your sister is trying to get clean, and the only thing you can do is talk shit about her. I was so upset. So upset. And the fact that they had at least another year to 2 years, and her sister did get clean, and they did repair their relationship, and they were able to do these wonderful things that I'll never get to do. And I always struggle with the question of why them and not you, right? Like asking myself, like, why them and not you? Why were my auntie same way? My dad, huge addict, pedophilic. I'll never speak to that man, like, ever. Don't even understand how people have relationships with them, but that's their business. I can't judge, right? But he got clean because he went to jail and probation to my auntie's house, his sister, who had said she'd never speak to him again. He had done so much. I mean, like, crazy, insane stuff. And they fell out the same way. And he went to jail, got clean, and now he's like some sort of pillar in the community. And it's like, I don't fucking understand this shit. How could a person that did so much demonic shit to people get clean and reestablished, and my sister's gone? So I deal with envy and jealousy in those areas. Not understanding truly the judgment of the Most High God is not my place to understand it. I just know that it is. But to speak about it in a very honest type of way. Like, those are the things that I can acknowledge about self. I don't envy these people because I want to be them or have, like, their life. I just don't understand how they were given opportunity to make things right and we didn't get that. Like, why? But that's the thing. Don't take time for granted, right? Because you never know what's going to happen. If it's something in your heart that you feel like you need to make right, then I think that you should take the opportunity to do it. Or at least be honest with yourself. Because even in this day and age, I could say that I wouldn't change what I said. I wouldn't. I wouldn't. But I wish that I had more time to see her at her highest potentiality, at her fullest. Yeah. Yeah, forgiveness is key, but never forget. Yeah. And I do. I forgive, right? I forgive him because he is who he is. He's an operant, right? Um, that's what he's fucking supposed to be, and that's what he is. And I have to recognize, him being who he is helped me become who I am. So that I do understand. Perseverance. Definitely able to persevere and get through. I know that I can do whatever I set my mind to. Absolutely. Root chakra. Rooted, grounded, and the intention and the desire, the passion, the fire, beloved, it burns. Like I'm talking about so deep within, and it's so much to say. And it's like, that confidence to say it and don't be afraid. Whether it's offensive to some, it might be. Some might find it healing, right? And we will continue to speak and to say what the Spirit puts on our heart to say. Yeah, believe. Not only belief, but it's also discernment. And that card is back, right? So think about your relationships, how you spend your time, beloved, because that's everything. We only get so bit of it. Where you think that we have time, beloved, but like, our beautiful people here in the chat said, time really has us. It has us, and we don't know, when time is up. We just don't. Healing. I'm seeing heart chakra. I'm seeing green. It's like allow things to, for some reason, I'm getting strengthen your belief. Lead you to use your strengths, your talents, your abilities to remain connected to the source, allowing your grief to give you gratitude, right? To be a good steward over the time that you have and to do the thing that's most meaningful to you. Don't put it off, just don't. I'm getting a huge thing on don't put it off. Do it. Do it now while you have the gift of living, beloved. Thank you. Thank you guys so much for being here and just sharing in the testimony. I know it was like a collective reading, but hopefully collectively we can get past it. The fact that it was my individual and really think about the principle, right? The principle of grief, the principle of healing, the principle of empowerment, of their legacy, right? Those that came before us, how we can still feel, how we can still connect, how we can commune, and how, even our relationship is better for it. Do I miss her physicality? Absolutely. But remembering her helps me to get to know me. It does. I love you just like I love me because that's my capacity. I can't love you any more than I love myself. And I ask you to be vulnerable with you and to recognize the things that are still plaguing you, right? Time doesn't last forever. You're only allotted a certain portion of it. Be careful and mindful of how you spend it, right? I love you just like I love the Alpha and the Omega, right? The beginning and the ending. And they sent us all here to be the infinite intelligence breathing because the word lives. It's consciously experiencing. And it's giving me enjoy it. Be careful of the words that you're saying. Call beautiful experiences and spells over yourself. And buy books. Not just electronic books, but tangible books. So when it becomes that day when they decide they want to throw us back into the dark age, you'll have your tangible books that day. Because knowledge is key. And those are the one thing that they cannot take away from you. The learning, the experiencing, knowledge. For wisdom, it is the principal thing, generally speaking. Thank y'all. To the next now. I love you so much. I say beloveds.